Hey, what's going on, everybody? A couple of my subscribers wanted me to do an album review on the new Michael Jackson Xscape album. And for you guys that have been following me for a while, you remember when I first got on YouTube, I used to do a lot of album reviews, but I kind of slowed down and stopped doing them because for the simple fact, it reminds me of work. And, not saying I don't like my jobs, I love my job, but, part of my job is to critique, market, manage, and do so much within the album where a lot of times I have to come home and listen to tons and tons and tons of music. So for me to make an album review, it's almost like I'm not getting paid to do it. A lot of times I don't have the mental space for it. But I will try to do more album reviews for you guys, because that seems like something that you guys like to hear from me. You like to give my opinion on. But going into this Michael Jackson Xscape album, what I expected was, to be honest, probably not too much different than what we've been hearing from Michael Jackson. I feel like I went into it feeling like I'll probably hear a lot of pop records, people trying to basically recreate what he's already done. But when I pressed play, I got a different feeling from it. Actually, I thought this was a very good album. Going to some of the tracks that was on the album, it starts off with "Love Never Felt So Good." I thought this was a very up-tempo beat. Great song. It's good for radio. It's something that I would say you can play at your family barbecue, or just play while you cruising in the car, because not just that record, but this whole album as a whole, it's like a feel-good type of record. Another record that I thought was probably one of my favorites was one called Chicago. Michael Jackson was basically talking about a girl he met on the way to Chicago. I believe, she was from Chicago or whatever, and, he just was talking about how he liked her and et cetera, and the beat was cool. It kind of had like a, thump to it, almost like a hip-hop vibe to it. So I like how that record was constructed, because it was like they was blending the R&B and hip-hop together, where you can grab both listeners, and both kind of listeners will be able to like that record. So I thought that was one of the better ones on the album. One of the records that stood out to me was "Do You Know Where Your Children Are?" And on this record, Michael is basically just talking about society things, and basically just bringing awareness to the fact that we have children out here that are indulging in things that they shouldn't, whether it's prostitution, whether it's being manipulated by certain industries or the entertainment field, or violence, and so on and so on. I thought that was probably one of the records that really jumped out and stood out to me, because I wasn't expecting to hear that. Even though Michael has made records that that were socially conscious, and he made, I would say, socially reference to, or political reference to, I wasn't expecting that on this album, because the way the music industry nowadays, people try to stay away from political issues or things that are too socially constructed, because of record sales, and they don't want to offend anybody, and just the music industry and entertainment as a whole has changed. A lot of people are not talking about social issues or political issues, and I think that's something that needs to come back in music. I think that's left. And although, like I said before, we need balance. We need the street music, we need the love music, we need the feel good music, and we need the political music. It can't just be one thing. But that's something that I feel like is missing. I think he contributed that within this album. But overall, I thought this is a very good album. I would advise everybody to pick it up. It doesn't matter whether you are an R&B fan, a pop fan, a hip hop fan, or even a rock fan. I think they did a very good job. His A&Rs and marketing team did a very good job constructing this album together, because it's very well rounded. It's something that you can put on pretty much at any time. A family reunion, while you're driving the car, if you want to dance, if you're going through something in your life, if you want to hear something that's mentally stimulating. It's very well rounded. One of the things that I didn't so-called like about it is a lot of it basically came as a double CD, where they had the original songs that were made, and then they had the newer versions. I guess people had remixed them or added certain things to them. And a lot of the original versions I didn't really care for. The only one I thought the original version was better, pretty much, was Blue Gangster. But the other ones, I like the newer versions better. But that was my personal opinion. Somebody else might think different. But that's pretty much my review on it. You know, I highly recommend this album. One thing I want to add, the cover of the album, I know it was called Xscape, and I guess what they were trying to give off is, I guess, maybe Michael just coming out of escaping from what society feels like he's about, you know, or what type of notions they have towards him. I think that's why he wanted to name it Xscape. But I wasn't a big fan of the album cover. You know, it seemed like, you know, it was like some spaceship stuff around his face, and I guess they wanted to try to give off a mystery type of look or something like that. But I wasn't feeling the album cover. But as far as the overall project, I thought it was a very good project, and I would recommend it to anyone. But that's my review on it. If you guys checked out the album, let me know what you thought about it. I'm out. Peace.